Good morning, everybody. Good morning, YouTube. Good to have you along here. If you're looking at this as a rerun and you're not joining me live on the morning of January 7th, you can skip ahead 15 minutes. Let's go 17 minutes. Get into the radio side of that right there. But until then, just letting other radio stations hook up here to the feed, making sure all the audio is coming through, and I can answer any questions that you may have or whatever. So, or just sit and BS with you as I kind of prep and get ready for this morning's radio program. Just this level, just a little bit there, and that needs to be up after a bit after I get a little bit ahead. Morning, Waylon. Jesse, good morning. It's Mr. Bulgy. Scott, you have to. So here's the thing I found out on TikTok. Okay, is you're posting on now, and I can't see any of your videos. And I just found out last night that in order for me to see anybody that posts on TikTok now, I have to post something to see what somebody else did, and I'm not always in the right spot to do that. So just a heads up on you there. I can't see some of them. Karen, good morning on a KOLY Mobridge. Dave from Minnesota, thanks for tuning in again this morning. Appreciate it, my friend. I do. Here, let's get back to this. Let's see, what else can I answer here quick? Okay, I think I'm caught up. Yeah, I didn't know that about the TikTok now stuff. I had no idea. I don't post that many videos. Like, I'm not doing anything cool and amazing here, and I was this summer. That's about it. All legit. Morning, Mr. Mayor. Oh, boy. Let's see here. 6:56. Got a couple minutes. Who's going to join me for an ivermectin shot this morning? If you're in the Belfield area, I have the Sportsman's Club banquet this evening. I've been coyote hunting, not as serious as I have been because the prices are so damn low. It's like not really excited about that. Plus the snow is we still got quite a bit of snow. It's pretty deep around here yet. Cheers to you. Did one tournament. I think I'm going to be doing another one. I found a tournament here the other day. I like their format. Morning, Eric. The format of this coyote tournament was not necessarily an online only type, kind of, okay? But you registered your team, and it was either the night before or the morning of. They would tell you what you needed to take a photo with, and you turned in your photos and timestamp your photos and everything with the person and that item. Some people got peanut butter jar you had to take with you and take with. Some people had ear tags. Some people had, just depending on what type of person they were, what they may have in the household. But I thought that's kind of a cool idea. Don't let them know that not everybody has blocks, and some people did get blocks. Some people had this and this and different items. That was kind of a cool idea. So hold on. I got to grab my iPad. Some days I forget to charge my iPad, and at the end of the week here, this thing went dead. And I got to get my commercials and everything ready to go. All right. Let's see here. Let's get the latest and greatest here lined out for me. I better set my phone system up here. There's that part. Watch your ears, everybody.
The number you have dialed has not been recognized.
I know I took too long, didn't I? All right, there's the number I need. Here we go. There.
Hey, good morning, Scotty.
Mr. Muth, how are you now?
I'm good. I'm good. Up and at 'em this morning. Still dark out, I think, isn't it? No, it's getting light out.
It's starting to get a little bit of sunshine coming up.
Yeah, nice time change, that's for sure.
A little bit longer days, right? Not much yet, but a little bit. I can tell at night. In the morning, I can't really tell because it's going to be until like May before that really changes for me.
Yeah. Yeah, it's nice to have that longer days, that's for sure. Know that fishing season's coming up. Spring's coming, you know.
Yeah.
Maybe the end of winter is going to get here some point. So
I still think we're in for, I think, so far. I mean, the forecast here in the next week looks all right. I mean, it really does. January so far started out pretty decent.
Mm-hmm.
But I always think February, if I can get through February and March, those are my two longest ones, except for last year when April storm just ball sacked me, I guess. But
right.
But yeah.
So I had told you before I had the headset and the microphone that really works well when we get on the phone. So I bought, had to change phones, bought an iPhone. I don't know if you have iPhones or not, but
I switched from iPhones to Droids a while back, and I had a lot of issues with some of my programming and stuff with Droid.
Did you?
I had a lot of apps that wouldn't work, and so I switched back to iPhone.
Did you? Well, I went from the Android to the iPhone, and I tell you, they're complicated. They are complicated.
Really?
There's a lot more swipes and things you have to do, and than on an Android. I think it's just PC Mac type thing.
But here's the thing. Here's the thing, though, Wayne, is you finally went from a Commodore 2000 green screen DOS running computer to like the latest technology. Okay.
Yeah, and what they've done too. So I was mentioning my headphones. That has a auxiliary plug.
Yeah.
So iPhones now, they don't have auxiliary plugs. So
a lot of those Droids don't. I mean, they got to have one of those. What do they call them? Dongles or whatever.
Yeah, they have a dongle. So I have to get an adapter so I can use it. So
yeah,
I have to whichever. But as long as I'm coming across clear.
But I think the new Droids have that too. I think Jesse's his newest phone has that too, and he's a DOS running machine. And
hey, you like that old stuff, like that old reliable. Oh, I don't know about reliable, but yeah. So interesting. So I'm getting used to it anyway. So yeah, go ahead.
Stations. I forgot to do a countdown. Stations 7:03:30. We'll do that 7:03:30, so you can kind of back time here before the show starts in 2.5 minutes. 7:03:30 coming up shortly, or 8:03:30, I guess, Central Time. I think all but one station Central. 8:03:30 on Mark. All right, sorry, Wayne.
Yeah, no problem. Yeah, you mentioned the weather. We have a wedding coming up the 21st in Minneapolis. So
sorry to
we're
hear
thinking,
that.
Well, we hopefully are going to make it down there. It'll be an interesting wedding. It's my good friend and his son, and great people, and we're looking forward to it. Actually, it should be fun, but kind of the suit and tie type thing, and I maybe should wear my cowboy hat down there, I suppose, and boots, but
Yeah, I got the Belfield Sportsman's Club big shindig here tonight.
Oh, yeah.
They do a nice job. It's packed. It's a small area. It's a small town hall, city hall or whatever it is.
Yeah.
And it is just packed, and they really come to support that small area. They do a nice job. Their sportsmen's clubs is very active in the youth shooting and really try to help a lot of the youth kids out.
Is it just like a banquet type thing?
Yep.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
How did the art auction go last week?
It went well. It really did. The I think the supporting arts in Bismarck is a different crowd than what I'm used to. So I thought they were very tight on their auction bidding.
Oh, really?
I thought so personally, but maybe that is, like I was talking to somebody else. It's like art projects and things around the areas, especially in the Dakota Territory, is probably not as prevalent as it is in Seattle or
Right.
different areas. Art's different
Yeah.
where you're at, right? Anyway, stand by.
Sure.
We're going to start up here in 30 seconds, so we're going to go quiet here. Station's going quiet here. It's 7:05:30 on Mark. Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the Saturday edition of Dakota Prairie Outdoors, heard all across the Dakota Territory and around the world on my YouTube channel. Across the Dakota Territory, we're hitting all the states, not only the Dakota Territory, but 6 states and 2 Canadian provinces with great power from KGFX out of Pierre, South Dakota, KOLY, Mobridge, South Dakota, KFYR, the voice of the Northern Plains, Bismarck, Mandan, 910. KCJB in Minot, hitting not only that area, but the Canadian side of things, and KLTC 1460 in Dickinson, North Dakota, hitting the Montana side as well. So big thanks to everybody tuning in here this morning, all across the radio side and on my YouTube channel, Dakota Prairie Outdoors Radio. Thanks for watching. I'm sorry the video of me isn't better here. My guest is Wayne Muth. Wayne, good morning. How you doing?
Good morning, Scott. I'm doing fine. Doing great.
Get this.
Yeah.
I have a list of things that are going on here in the near future. Are you ready for these?
Sure.
I mean, one of them is why you're on here. But we have bull sales, and I'm very fortunate to have a lot of people advertise with me on Dakota Prairie Outdoors with their bull sales. One of them, Union Center, South Dakota. First time advertiser, Rounds Angus Ranch. Their 7th annual production sale coming up Saturday, January 21st. At the ranch. I'm going to be heading down to Union Center, probably trying to, I'm going to see if I can do my program from Union Center down there. One of the places in Union Center, Kamak Ranch Supply. Have you heard of this one?
No, I have not.
You need to see, if you think Runnings is big, you should see this place. It's pretty impressive here. Also coming up, Sorority Charlet, first time advertiser with me out of Bowman, North Dakota. Joy and her dad and everybody will be at the Charlet Ranch, Sorority Charlet Ranch coming up on Friday, January 27th. And then I will be doing my radio program from the Schriefer Red Angus Bull Sale up in Golden Valley, North Dakota on Saturday, January 28th. So I'm going to be from Union Center to Golden Valley within 2 weeks there, Wayne, helping with bull sales. How about that?
Putting on some miles. No, putting on some miles. Yeah. So the Schriefers, are they serving Fleischkegel? Is that it?
Yes, they do. You've heard the ads, Fleischkegel.
Yes.
See, here's the thing is I miss that old German food so much. My mom was just good German cook. And I don't know what it was, but like every German cook is a little bit different. But if you want like old-fashioned Fleischkegel, good old German cooking, Schriefer Red Angus sale, man, that's what they got going on there. Yeah,
that's a good stuff. Calling card. Yeah.
And then I'll be in Mandan on February 11th for the Mule Deer Foundation banquet that you're kind of in charge of right now. I'm going to say you're the guy that's in charge.
No, well, Jason Bankson is actually our chair, our banquet chair, and on the flyer you can get a hold of him for tickets or anything. But February 11th is when we're having that, and we got a good auctioneer, I heard, so should be fun again.
I hope so. He's been doing a lot of charity events all across the area, so
yeah.
Yeah, no, it's coming up here on Saturday, February 11th at the old 7 Seas. I still call it the 7 Seas. People that probably now, they all know it by the Baymont Inn, but
Right.
It's been
Yeah.
7 Cs in my mind for so long, I can't get it out of my head.
Right. Yeah. It's ingrained into our head. That's for sure. Yeah. The doors open at 5 there that night. The dinner's at 6:30. We've got silent auction, the live auction, lots of raffles, lots of good prizes again. It's the 35th anniversary of the Mueller Foundation. So we've got 35th anniversary rifle that we're giving away. It's a pre-event type thing too. We're also having, so there's a gun of the year, which is a Berga 300 Winchester mag, and a Weatherby 270 is the anniversary gun. So yeah, there's lots of raffles. It goes for a good cause. Put the money out in the field where we can, protect the mule deer and create some habitat, things like that. So yeah.
I'm telling you right now, guns make money for banquets, don't they? I mean,
They do.
that's what
They
people
do.
come for the most. Not
Yeah.
everybody, okay? I mean, there's no doubt that the food is great, and there's all kinds of other prizes and hunts and I mean, that last year I think you had some Kenetrick boots that you're auctioning off here, and I mean, there's other prizes, but when it comes to guns, it's pretty easy to get people excited, especially like I was talking to Thumper here up in Belfield here. I'll be there tonight at the Belfield Sportsman's Club, by the way. But I was discussing with him a little bit. I donated a gun to the one coyote hunt here for the Tough Luck Prize. With if you got skunked and you didn't get any coyotes, you were still in on a gun raffle, right?
Good.
Or a
Yeah.
gun drawing, I should say. And when I took that back up for the other person to do some paperwork, one of the things that we were discussing was when it comes to guns, if you have a nice gun, like a really high quality, good gun, people are going to come and spend money to try to win that gun, isn't it? I mean, that's how it is.
Right. Yeah. And that's kind of what we found recently is, the people that come to the banquets, they want good stuff. They want maybe an odd caliber
Yeah.
that they don't have. And they put more interest in it, and they'll bid a little higher. And we had some pretty cool prizes and raffle prizes last year. We had the rooftop social. We had a
That's
flamethrower.
right. Yeah.
We had
Yeah.
a lot of different things, and hopefully we can get some things like that again this year. I'm working on a few of those.
You
So
know what I want that flamethrower for?
what's that?
Burning net wrap.
Oh, that'd be
Yeah.
perfect.
We get so much after feeding cows, after about a week, you have so much net wrap built up in your garbage, whether it's a burn barrel or whatever. And that would be more of a fun way to go about it if I had a flamethrower and be able to walk around there and look pretty cool doing that.
Yeah, that
Or
would
at
be.
least,
You had mentioned even that net wrap what you're seeing on some of the elk antlers
yeah.
from the bulls that you've had come by. We had a buck right nearby that had some on his head too, on his antlers all tangled up. So
Yeah. Well, we'll talk about see if they're shedding and all that. I've seen some people already
yeah,
getting some sheds, but anyway, what else? When did the doors open here on Saturday, February 11th?
yeah. Doors open at 5 and dinner's at 6:30
Central time.
Central
Okay.
Time at the Baymont, the old Red Trail right here in Mandan. They do have rooms. I think we're getting a block of rooms. So if you need a room, talk to them. See if there's I think we're trying to get some discounts on rooms for anybody that wants to stay. Tickets you can get, you can call Jason Bankston. His number is 701-202-1671. And they can call me if they have any questions either as well on that. My number is 701-391-3061. Yeah, we can help them out, direct them in the right area to get some tickets and come in and enjoy a great night of great food, great hospitality, and a lot of great people there
So
too.
where does the money go, Wayne?
Well, there's a lot of projects here nationwide and in North Dakota. There's a certain percentage that once we get to, if we make so much over a certain dollar amount, then that stays here in North Dakota. And
Okay.
we did real well last year. And then, of course, for the prizes and whatever we buy for that, that has to be paid off. And it's some goes to the national and some comes back here. There's lots of projects that are out there. We had several in North Dakota. Of course, about the Richards Ranch,
Yep.
Kim Shade's Ranch, and other little projects all over the state. Yeah, it creates some access to for hunting, and not only, well, I should say it creates access. It creates access. So whether you're a bird watcher or you're a hiker or you like to go out, photography or hunt antelope, elk, or whatever. I mean, there's places out there that they hold all these critters, and you can hunt, you can fish, you can have access, and that's really the important part. And it works with the landowners. Landowners are getting something out of this too, whether it's fencing, sometimes it's some water projects. There's a planning on doing some brush removal.
Hold that thought, Wayne. We'll come back after the break. We'll talk more with Wayne Muth and more events coming up around the area after these messages. There's a reason that you're seeing more Red Angus cattle in the country. Great mama cows, high weaning weights, and easy keepers. Join the Schrieffer family for their annual production sales Saturday, January 28th at the ranch just north of Golden Valley. They'll be selling 2-year-old Red Angus bulls, registered bred heifers, and commercial open replacement heifers. Free delivery on bulls within 500 miles, and you can bid online at DV Auction. The bullpen is always open, so come by anytime and view the cattle before the sale. Schrieffer Red Angus annual production sale Saturday, January 28th at the ranch just north of Golden Valley.
As an independent insurance agency, Dakota Community Insurance partners with leading insurance companies to offer products that are designed around you and your farm insurance needs. As a leader in farm and ranch insurance, we can help you to minimize the risk to you and your operation, including farm equipment, livestock, farm buildings, and crops. Stop into your local branch to visit with our insurance agent or visit DakotaCommunityBank.com. You can rely on us when nature strikes. Dakota Community Insurance.
At Dakota Community Bank and Trust, that's what we do.
Cattlemen, do you want market-topping calves at sale time? You need predictable Charolais genetics from Sorority Charolais. Hi, this is Kaylee from Sorority Charolais Ranch. Our 40th annual bull sale is Friday, January 27th at the ranch west of Bowen. We are offering 65 performance-tested yearling Charolais bulls, and again this year, 5 registered replacement heifers. Free delivery up to 300 miles, and we'll feed them free till April 1st. Sorority Charolais, January 27th. You can follow us on Facebook and DV Auction. If you haven't tried a Sorority Charolais bull, ask the cattleman that has. He's the one with a big smile on sale day.
It's every American's right to bear arms. At Mandan Sporting Goods, we're here to help you support your Second Amendment rights, which reads, a well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state, the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. Whether you're looking for a pistol for personal defense or collector gun, we have the staff to help you. We also have the area's largest inventory of ammo and reloading supplies.
Mandan Sporting Goods, the area's local gun and ammo specialists.
This is Todd with Rounds Angus of Union Center. We invite you to join us at the ranch Saturday, January 21st, 1 o'clock. We'll offer 33 yearling Black Angus bulls out of popular sires, Exemplify, Sits Resilient, and DL Wheelhouse. All bulls are backed by a first breeding season guarantee. For catalog and videos, visit RoundsAngusRanch.com or call 605-985-5469. See you at the ranch January 21st, 1 o'clock for the Rounds Angus Bull Sale.
Pfeiffer's Western team of Andy Murdoch and Jim Savvy would like to invite you to sit down and talk about the future of land planning. Whether you're looking at selling, buying, or options to hand it down to the next generation, Andy and Jim will lay out all of the options for you. It's a great time to buy or sell, and with interest rates to make it profitable. Pfeiffer's Western team, Andy Murdoch and Jim Savvy. For more information or land updates, go to Pfeiffers.com. Western Frontier Insurance. Agents that understand you, your needs, and the community. Whether you're looking for coverage on your farm, ranch, home, or auto, you can trust that Western Frontier Insurance will find you a combination of price and coverage that works for you. No fancy jingles, no talking boxes or animals, just good neighbors helping to keep you covered. Western Frontier Insurance. Offices in Hazen, Washburn, and Wilton.
This is Todd with Rounds Angus Ranch of Union Center. We invite you to join us at the ranch Saturday, January 21st, 1 o'clock. We will offer 33 yearling Black Angus bulls out of breed-leading sires, SAV Scalehouse, TK Linebacker, Renown, and Miller's Duke. These will be some of the first Scalehouse bulls offered for sale in the entire nation, and the linebackers are hard to come by as well. Come take a look at these thick, stretchy bulls or call 605-347-0890. See you at the ranch January 21st, 1 o'clock for the Rounds Angus Bull Sale.
There's a reason that you're seeing more Red Angus cattle in the country. Great mama cows, high weaning weights, and easy keepers. Join the Schrieffer family for their annual production sales Saturday, January 28th at the ranch just north of Golden Valley. They'll be selling 2-year-old Red Angus bulls, registered bred heifers, and commercial open replacement heifers. Free delivery on bulls within 500 miles, and you can bid online at DV Auction. The bullpen is always open, so come by anytime and view the cattle before the sale. Schrieffer Red Angus annual production sale Saturday, January 28th at the ranch just north of Golden Valley. Welcome back, everybody. It is Dakota Prairie Outdoors Saturday edition. Good to have you along here this morning on, what is today? January 7th already. You're the first show of our Saturday show, I should say, of 2023. Wayne Muth is my guest. Wayne, we got some coyote tournaments going on this week, and you ready to hear about them?
Let her have
They're
it.
all over. This is what I like about coyote tournaments is a lot of them are fundraisers for a lot of things. So the Miles City, Montana AAU Wrestling, their wrestling club, is hosting their 18th annual Miles City Coyote Calling Contest, and this is how they raise money for their wrestling club here. It's going on this weekend. The 7th annual Kadoka, South Dakota Volunteer Fire Department Calling Contest is going on this weekend at the Kadoka City Bar, the only bar I've ever been kicked out of in South Dakota.
In South Dakota, I like the disclaimer there.
The Outdoors are presenting the Dickinson, North Dakota. They're doing a benefit coyote hunt, and this is for a little 3-year-old girl. And she's battling,
nice.
she's battling some stuff here, and they're trying to raise money here to help her out here in a little bit. And this is what I like about these tournaments is you always see the helpfulness on this. Now, that's what's going on this week. And, Keene, North Dakota Volunteer Fire Department is going to be having theirs on January 21st. Reynolds on January 21st. Northwood Men's Club is on the 27th. The Wrighton Coyote Tournament's February 4th. And then we have an ice fishing at Pollock Men's Club is having that in Pollock, South Dakota in February. So, that's kind of what's going on, but
these coyote tournaments just make great fundraisers. I mean, there's not a lot of cost into it. I mean, you don't have to have a great big committee to make it work. I mean, you can do it on a smaller group and really get some good funding. Yeah,
absolutely.
Nice.
And if people are looking at doing coyote tournaments, and I know there's a lot of them out there, if you want me to promote them a little bit, just get in touch with me. I'll make sure to get them out there for you. But so Wayne came on here. Not only were we talking about the Mule Deer Foundation, we're talking that Saturday, February 11th, I'll be up in the Mandan area for the 21st annual banquet here at the Old Seven Seas, the Baymont Inn in Mandan, and having fun there. And you'll be hearing more about that here on my program as well. However, we're talking hunting stuff too. And during the break, we were discussing your Colorado hunting experience. And when you go out of state, whether you're North or South Dakota and you go to state, what do you expect? I mean, Colorado, everybody thinks, oh, you're going to be hunting in the mountains. There should be some big deer up there. But you said it's pretty tough hunting up that way too.
Yeah, it really was. We were, I know with my cousin, his friend, and his friend's girlfriend, we were down there. Got some tips on which areas are pretty decent for deer. They had shot some fair deer there in the area in the years past, and it took 3 points to get drawn down there for a mule deer buck. And we're hunting out in the Craig, Colorado area, and it's a draw area for deer, but it's an over the counter for elk. So that in itself brings in a lot of hunters as well. So when you think of North Dakota having a lot of hunters out there, try something like that sometime because there are a lot of hunters. There's hunters around every corner, and you got to hike back in. And we hiked back in several areas and got way back, and we'd find hunters back there. But the deer we found, the quality of deer I thought was pretty small, and actually what was taken in the camps that surrounded us, we talked to the guys every day, and the biggest was a mediocre at best 3-pointer, and I had a 4-pointer that had a little non-typical point on. It was maybe 120 inches. I didn't shoot a deer down there, so the quality is not what I wanted to just put a tag on, I guess. So decided to do that.
Do you think the quality of deer depends on how hard it's hunted? So I haven't been to Colorado hunting, but when I'm picturing my head here, Wayne, is you're probably hunting in like foothills or the mountainside of things or some areas.
Hmm.
Do people get back far enough? I mean, I know there's only a certain amount of distance people may travel. Is there, if you go back further, like when you hunt the Badlands of North and South Dakota, maybe you go over that next canyon where nobody else has
Right.
ever hiked to. Is that the thing, or is it just hunted out?
Um, there are a lot of road hunters, I think, out there.
Yeah.
However, I think we hike back in. We had areas that we had picked out that were good, that were public areas in between private that looked good. We hiked back in and got into those. We'd see some deer, but just not the quality. We did see some fair deer on some private land, and I actually went in and talked to the landowner, and I spent 20 minutes to half hour talking to him, and found out that he lived in North Dakota for a while, and we had a great conversation, and he said that a few years ago they were shooting Boone and Crockett bucks down there. Now there's so much hunting pressure, he said they just don't see him anymore, and he shuts down his land except for his grandkids, and that's about it. So yeah, that was an interesting hunt. It was a lot of fun. My cousin, it was great hunting with him and his buddy, and we'll probably go back down some other place maybe if we can get drawn for some tags. But we'll see. And we had some opportunities at some elk. My cousin did anyway. I didn't have an elk tag and couldn't quite get it done. Yeah, we saw a lot of elk, lots of elk down there. But yeah.
Gene comments here on the YouTube channel, says over-the-counter units in Colorado. He says loads of Magnum rifles and a lot of road hunters.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
And which is too bad. But I mean, well, it's good that they're hunting, because Colorado seems to me like a state that the legislation that I see being passed is not a very conducive state for hunting in the future. But maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah.
There's a ton of hunting down there, I guess.
Right. And one of the things I did experience, we came back one evening, and there was another camp of some friends of my cousins that were camped by us. They had 3 wall tents up there. There's about 12 people there, I think. And we came driving in, and one of the younger guys, these are, late 20s, early 30s guys, he came up and said, "How'd you guys do?" And we said, "Well, we didn't get anything." And so, "How about you guys?" "Oh yeah, I got one. Yeah, I got a good one." I'm going, "Oh, good. I get to see a nice deer." So we walk over the side of the wall tent, and it's a 115-inch 3x3, and it was like, okay. And it's like, and he was so excited, though, Scott.
Yeah,
that's what it's all about. That's what it's all about.
Yes.
I mean, he was so excited. He told us this story, and he was just pumping. Maybe that's what we need to get these youth involved. And as they mature in their hunting years, they may hold out for something bigger or do something else or shoot the same deer. Who knows? But
yeah. Well, the excitement. What's a trophy? A trophy depends on the person that shoots it, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it doesn't necessarily have to be always scoring big numbers to be a trophy in your eyes. And for that guy, that's awesome. How could you tell me how much does it cost for a non-resident to go to Colorado to hunt deer? What's a tag cost down that way?
I think the tag was $400.
Okay.
Yeah.
And do you think that's outrageous, or is it right at where it should be for a non-resident?
That's probably about where it should be for a non-resident. Ours here and in South Dakota, I believe, are less. But I think we have better hunting, but don't tell anybody.
well, the Dakota Territory, we know we have good hunting in the Dakota Territory. We know that.
Right.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it's probably about right. I mean, I know Montana is expensive. Other states, I had a list of it here at one point, but yeah, they're expensive no matter where you go. Nevada is very expensive too, but hope to draw some points down there and maybe get down there someday. So
my biggest thing right now is I want to go to South Dakota and go mountain lion hunting, but it's a resident only type of thing. And I have property there. I just not a resident. And they've been doing really well though. This last week here, this first week of January, there's a lot of mountain lions that were taken down in that Lawrence County, Pennington County, and Custer, and just that's exciting, man. That Black Hills has such a good hunting area down there. Gene also goes, he says, back in the 90s in Colorado, I went muzzleloader hunting elk. It's a draw in October, and the muzzleloader restrictions kept a lot of hunters' numbers down. And muzzleloader, you don't see as many muzzleloader hunters as I thought. I thought that would be something that would draw in population because of how much easier some of these breech load muzzleloaders are right now.
Yeah, and I think it's getting more popular. I know a couple of my friends. Some of my friends go down there and they get elk. Well, every time they get tags, they do really well with it. But yeah, and the quality of deer down there was a little lacking, and I thought what I've seen in North Dakota was lacking. I missed a real nice buck early on with my bow, and I never saw another deer that I wanted to pursue after that. Actually, same with my gun tag. I just didn't see anything I wanted to shoot. Muzzleloader tag was the same thing. So I had a fair number of tags, but didn't feel any. My son shot a real nice 5x muley that we got him on, and maybe I should have shot that one instead of him. We'll let him work at it more next time.
We'll talk about passing up deer here coming up, which I did too. Will come up next hour or the next half of the program. Coming up right here in Dakota Prairie Outdoors after these messages. There's a reason that you're seeing more Red Angus cattle in the country. Great mama cows, high weaning weights, and easy keepers. Join the Schrieffer family for their annual production sales Saturday, January 28th at the ranch just north of Golden Valley. They'll be selling 2-year-old Red Angus bulls, registered bred heifers, and commercial open replacement heifers. Free delivery on bulls within 500 miles, and you can bid online at DV Auction. The bullpen is always open, so come by anytime and view the cattle before the sale. Schrieffer Red Angus annual production sale Saturday, January 28th at the ranch just north of Golden Valley.
As an independent insurance agency, Dakota Community Insurance partners with leading insurance companies to offer products that are designed around you and your farm insurance needs. As a leader in farm and ranch insurance, we can help you to minimize the risk to you and your operation, including farm equipment, livestock, farm buildings, and crops. Stop into your local branch to visit with our insurance agent or visit DakotaCommunityBank.com. You can rely on us when nature strikes. Dakota Community Insurance.
At Dakota Community Bank and Trust, that's what we do.
Cattlemen, do you want market-topping calves at sale time? You need predictable Charlotte genetics from Sorority Charlotte. Hi, this is Kaylee from Sorority Charlotte Ranch. Our 40th annual bull sale is Friday, January 27th at the ranch west of Bowen. We are offering 65 performance-tested yearling Charlie bulls, and again this year, 5 registered replacement heifers. Free delivery up to 300 miles, and we'll feed them free till April 1st. Sorority Charlotte, January 27th. You can follow us on Facebook and DV Auction. If you haven't tried a Sorority Charlie bull, ask the cattleman that has. He's the one with a big smile on sale day.
It's every American's right to bear arms. At Mandan Sporting Goods, we're here to help you support your Second Amendment rights, which reads, a well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state, the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. Whether you're looking for a pistol for personal defense or collector gun, we have the staff to help you. We also have the area's largest inventory of ammo and reloading supplies.
Mandan Sporting Goods, the area's local gun and ammo specialists.
This is Todd with Rounds Angus of Union Center. We invite you to join us at the ranch Saturday, January 21st, 1 o'clock. We'll offer 33 yearling Black Angus bulls out of popular sires, Exemplify, Sits Resilient, and DL Wheelhouse. All bulls are backed by a first breeding season guarantee. For catalog and videos, visit RoundsAngusRanch.com or call 605-985-5469. See you at the ranch January 21st, 1 o'clock for the Rounds Angus Bull Sale.
Piper's Western team of Andy Murdoch and Jim Sabby would like to invite you to sit down and talk about the future of land planning. Whether you're looking at selling, buying, or options to hand it down to the next generation, Andy and Jim will lay out all of the options for you. It's a great time to buy or sell, and with interest rates to make it profitable. Piper's Western team, Andy Murdoch and Jim Sabby. For more information or land updates, go to pifers.com. Western Frontier Insurance. Agents that understand you, your needs, and the community. Whether you're looking for coverage on your farm, ranch, home, or auto, you can trust that Western Frontier Insurance will find you a combination of price and coverage that works for you. No fancy jingles, no talking boxes or animals, just good neighbors helping to keep you covered. Western Frontier Insurance. Offices in Hazen, Washburn, and Wilton.
This is Todd with Rounds Angus Ranch of Union Center. We invite you to join us at the ranch Saturday, January 21st, 1 o'clock. We will offer 33 yearling Black Angus bulls out of breed-leading sires, SAV Scalehouse, TK Linebacker, Renown, and Miller's Duke. These will be some of the first Scalehouse bulls offered for sale in the entire nation, and the linebackers are hard to come by as well. Come take a look at these thick, stretchy bulls or call 605-347-0890. See you at the ranch January 21st, 1 o'clock for the Rounds Angus Bull Sale.
There's a reason that you're seeing more Red Angus cattle in the country. Great mama cows, high weaning weights, and easy keepers. Join the Schrieffer family for their annual production sales Saturday, January 28th at the ranch just north of Golden Valley. They'll be selling 2-year-old Red Angus bulls, registered bred heifers, and commercial open replacement heifers. Free delivery on bulls within 500 miles, and you can bid online at DV Auction. The bullpen is always open, so come by anytime and view the cattle before the sale. Schrieffer Red Angus annual production sale Saturday, January 28th at the ranch just north of Golden Valley. Welcome back, everybody. Dakota Prairie Outdoors Saturday edition continues here across the Dakota Territory. Brought to you by many, many great sponsors. Good to have you along here today, including Mule Deer Foundation's Northern Badlands Chapter 21st Annual Banquet, Saturday, February 11th at the Baymont Inn, Mandan, North Dakota. I'll be there. Hope you are too here. Wayne Muth is part of that committee. That's why he's on the program, helping support that and promote it a little bit. And talking about non-resident hunting, too. We have some messages coming in after we stopped there. It says, instead of game and fish banning baiting, maybe they should ban the road hunting for deer, antelope, and pheasant. He says, I'm half kidding, of course. But putting the work in, I feel putting the work in makes it a little bit more, I don't know, self-rewarding maybe.
Well, it's the experience, though, too. I mean, you think about it. That's what it's all about.
Yeah.
Getting back in there. And you know, with me not filling any of my deer tags this year, I normally hunt close to 30 days every year anyway, and that's where I was this year. But I'd say what you learn a lot more about nature out there, about your critters you're pursuing, and it's just getting off that road and getting in the field is really, really rewarding. So
it is.
Yeah.
So you were talking bear hunting when I was on the break here. Where do you go?
Yeah.
Where do you go bear hunting at?
Well, we lived in Montana for a while, so I was bear hunting in Montana years ago, but we've also gone to Ontario and Saskatchewan in the past and had great successes. But my son Austin wanted to go bear hunting this spring, so after turkey hunting, we had planned a date. Well, of course, the snowstorms came in April, and that pushed us back a couple weeks. We went out. We were in the Beartooth Mountain area. We didn't go all the way out west. It's an area that I've hunted several times before and taken bears out of, and it's actually a really, really fun area to hunt. Saw a lot of elk, saw a lot of deer, but the snows came in on us then too. So we're camped up there in 15 to 20 degree weather and covered with snow every day. And we did not shoot a bear because it was just hard to get around, and they weren't moving as much. But we'll get back out there. Not sure about this spring, but maybe the following year or something like that. Try it again.
Yeah. That's one thing I'd like. Predators is what I like. Yeah, it'd be nice to go with that. Also, have you ever been thinking about caribou hunting? That's one thing. That and red stag would be something that's on like my bucket list to go hunting for.
Yeah, I went up to Alaska back about 15 years ago now with a friend of mine from Billings, and it was a do-it-yourself hunt. So we got dropped in on a lake, and our moose tags, allowed us to shoot a caribou as well, or caribou instead. It's a dollar value of the tag is how it's kind of set up, I believe. So if you could shoot anything less than that, you wouldn't put your tag on it. And we saw caribou up in the mountains up above us, but it was just too far to pursue. We were down by the lake pursuing moose.
Yeah.
And my buddy shot a huge moose, huge. And it's something that everybody should try to experience once and then tell me how much fun you're having. Because that is a lot of work. My goodness, that's a lot of work.
That's one of the big three tags I'd like to get yet too.
This was a 63-inch moose that weighed about 1,500 pounds, and it was 3/4 of a mile from the boat. And we realized then why the natives up there do not shoot any moose any further than a 1/4 mile from the shoreline or a road.
When you were up there,
Yeah.
did you run across some of the natives that gave you some tips or hints where you might be able to find some?
My buddy had been going up there every other year. He'd go up one year for caribou, then he'd go up next year for moose. And what he did, he bought all his supplies and he shipped them up there and he put them in storage. So we would just go up there and go to his storage and take all the camping supplies, tents and everything,
Oh, nice.
and take them out to the plane. And we get flown in on a big otter plane and dropped on the lake. And we were hunting with football Hall of Famer Larry Zonka was on the lake. He was up further from us. He was grizzly bear hunting, and we'd see grizzly bears every day.
Really?
So they'd be down by our shoreline, and that moose was way too heavy to get 10 feet up off the ground.
Yeah.
And they didn't bother. They were interested in the salmon along the shore. So yeah, it was a good experience. It was a lot of hard work. It was very wet and lots of bugs.
Would you you'd support somebody going up there making that decision to go up and do that though?
Yeah. I would give them some good tips on how to stay dry and fight the bugs and make sure that you're in good shape. Definitely.
Yeah. Boy, isn't that a big thing? No matter where you're hunting, even on flat ground, you still got to be in good shape.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Yeah,
that's for sure.
All right. So when it comes to the tags that you had around North and South Dakota here, how did you fare? You said you had 5 tags total this year, including the Colorado one. Yeah. But what did you end up getting for the end of the year?
I didn't shoot a deer. Like I'd mentioned, I missed a real nice muley with my bow early on. Actually, opening day right at sundown. I actually overshot him a little bit, and he's the first mule deer I've ever had that duck and arrow. It was so quiet that night, and I snuck up on him, and I was standing, and he just, when he heard the twink of my bow, and I have a really quiet bow, I think, and he just ducked, and I did shoot over top. Well, that was the only chance I had or took upon to shoot a deer. I didn't see anything more that I wanted to pursue. Gun tag, same thing. Muzzleloader tag, same thing. It just did not turn out the deer that I wanted to shoot. I saw forkies, I saw spikes, I saw small 3-pointers in all those categories, and I just decided I wasn't going to shoot one. I didn't want to fill my tag just to fill my tag. Now my son Trevor shot a real nice muley that we got in on, and maybe I should have shot that one, like I said, instead of him, and had him work harder for his. So, but we did get that one. I shot an antelope early on in the season, but it just didn't work out for deer that much. I think the quality of deer was down a little bit. The numbers are down. There were still good deer out there. Being a Poverning measure, I scored a fair amount of nice deer this year. A lot of eastern deer, antelope as well. Some big mule deer out of the Badlands. So they're there, but just not as many. There's no doubt.
Yeah. So yesterday I was going into town to pick up some mineral and salt here for the cows, and going past about to Amadon. I got a buddy that's got some bales up on some flat ground, and he feeds cows up on some old stubble fields, right? And I'll post this on my social media account here after a little bit, but this is the most mule deer I've seen in the area all hunting, or I should say for the last year, and they were all standing on top of his bales. And
really?
That's how the snow banks going up to the bales they're so hard right now. The snow is really, really rock hard, and they're just standing on top and kind of pawing their way through the net wrap and eating the bales right now.
Yeah, and that was a big factor, I think, of a lot of people's successes or non-successes this last year is the weather.
Yeah.
I mean, you talk about the snow we had, and you just weren't able to get around, and we still hiked in, and boy, I tell you what, it was tough. I passed on one buck, actually, that was pretty decent, but I was by myself, and I was about 1.5 miles back in. I'm going, God, I just can't shoot that deer here. If one of my sons would have been with me, I probably would have, but I decided not to. So
got to start taking a mule with you, Wayne.
Yes, I should.
Take a pack mule hunting with you, and they'll protect you from those mountain lions too.
My friend in Cody, Wyoming, has these alpacas or the llamas, whichever he has, but he uses those for his elk hunts and hunting down in Wyoming. Yeah,
really? Wow.
Yeah, works out great.
Maybe that's what I should get into, is just the packing around here. When people get their elk, I can bring alpacas down there and help them get their elk, quarter them out.
There you go. Yeah. And And like Judy said here, she goes, she wasn't with me, so maybe my good luck charm didn't pan
There you
out.
go. There you go.
That's it.
That's the thing here. So going into this year, do you think both North and South Dakota? I think we both had issues with weather. I mean, South Dakota just had a storm here a few days ago. I mean, down in the southern part, all the way through Mitchell over the Brookings and Sioux Falls. And I'll tell you this right now, I think both states had a little access issues with snowstorms and what have you during hunting season. Do you think the reports are going to be less for the percentage of getting a deer?
What I've heard from others, I would say yes, definitely. I just seeing that people are not finding deer. They're not seeing deer. I talked to several ranchers down in the 3F2 area, as a matter of fact, your old stomping grounds. Down there, they were saying they didn't know why the Game and Fish Department gave out so many tags, because there just wasn't that many deer around. And I saw that as well. And I think, that with the weather and with the quality of deer, I think there are multiple factors that are adding up to saying, yeah, your success rate is not going to be as good. Now, will that change what they give out in the future? I don't know. It depends on how these deer survive this winter and how their surveys go going forward. Maybe their surveys are going to be okay, because it seemed like later on when the deer started yarding a little bit, it seemed like, man, there's a lot of deer out here. But it was just in certain spots, like you're seeing on the haystacks,
Just pockets like that. Now, I also seen, Casey sent me a couple messages, and up by the Heart River Ranch, I think this was way before Christmas already. A lot of deer shedding already, a lot of antlers being shed off the whitetails. I haven't seen any of the mule deer really shed, but a lot of them are young bucks, and they usually take a while anyway. But is that early? I don't think it's that early for whitetail. Usually you see some toward the end of December already starting to shed, but a majority of them are right now.
Yeah, they are. I mean, we're seeing some local herd right here. We saw a nice 1 4-pointer come up, and he had one antler, and I think that's the second or third we had seen that has shed his horns, and we look at them with binoculars. You can see the pedicles or the nubs that are still there. But yeah, they're shedding already, and I think it's a little early.
Okay.
I just didn't see this magnitude of it, this many of them, this early on.
And I credit that to early winter. I mean, well, I shouldn't say early. Old-fashioned winter. Okay, when you and I were kids, we seen winter start in October, November. And hold on, this year it started November, and we usually don't see that until probably January in the last 10 years, so.
Right. Yep, exactly. Yeah, that's true. We were talking with some of my friends, and we're saying, this is normal. This is what we grew up with. We had snow piles like this on our farm years ago, and we tunneled, and we played around this stuff, and growing up, that's what we had. And I think it's getting maybe back to a normal, and people aren't used to it. So maybe it's good.
Yeah. So Waylon types in, he says very low population in his place, and he's in that 3F2 area as well. Tim says deer bunched up around here. One elk that must have escaped from a game farm came in with them. And he says, go bison. All right. So
tomorrow, the bison. Yeah.
Here's the thing. All right. I taught at SDSU for about 6 years. So I'm going with jackrabbits, man. I'm sorry.
Good for you.
Everybody else, everybody's going to be but here's the thing. I think it's going to be a great game. And not only is it awesome to see both NDSU and SDSU in this, it really takes notice of what we're doing in the Dakota Territory, having the top two teams going down to Texas to do this game, right? I mean, it shows what we can do up in this Northern Plains area. And
we're tough, we're resilient, and disciplined, and they set up good programs. Both of those colleges have, so that's good.
So which one are you going for? I already got a bet with my banker. She's an NDSU person, so I have a bet there. I got a bet with Riley Schriefer. I forgot about his. I can't remember. Oh yeah, that's right. I forgot. That's what it is.
Yeah, I'm not a bandwagon fan, so I'm just gonna reserve judgment on that. Right now.
I don't watch enough. I don't pay attention enough. But here's the fun part about this is with my banker yesterday, we were discussing a few things. She's all decked out in her NDSU stuff, right?
Yeah.
And I said, well, you want to put a friendly wager on this? And she says, and the first thing out of her mouth, Wayne, was, we're fighting a lot of injuries right now. And I'm like, whoa, 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 whoa. You can't start with the first thing out of your mouth as an excuse. I'm like, come on
really.
now.
No kidding.
So,
Yeah. Crazy. That should be good. That should be good.
Waylon says if you got two Dakota teams down in Frisco, Texas, they're going to run out of beer.
Yeah, they will. I can imagine that the Frisco must be just living it up. They must be loving it, having those two universities down there. Yeah. So, hey, another thing I wanted to throw out at you.
You bet.
Paul Thomas, he's a representative out of Velva. He introduced a bill. It's House Bill 1151, and it states the Game and Fish Department would not be allowed to issue rules, adopt a policy, or practice prohibiting the baiting of deer for lawful hunting. Mm-hmm. Reference to the energy and natural resources. So I did talk to Paul about this.
Just to be clear, across the Dakota, this is on the North Dakota legislative side.
Oh, yes. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. Yeah. So, I did talk to Paul and ask him about this a little bit. And, there are going to be some amendments. He expects some amendments to the bill. And one of them that will be added is on private property. That will be a piece of this. And I think he feels that there's a lot more support for this than what he first expected. So there may be some issues with amount of bait, or that type of thing. So they're looking at this as they don't want deer to get bloated out there and such, and the animal health piece of it. So that may be something that comes into this bill is a limited amount of bait, and then they're looking at also cattle issues with if you have a big pile of bait on one side of your fence and the cows are out there and it's late in the year, they're going to be trying to get into it, tearing down fences or whatever, or injuring themselves. So they may have a setback thing. I don't know what all is going to happen, but I had some questions from other people about this as well. And until you read the bill, you really didn't know what was in it. So it was hard to place any, judgment on it. So we'll see where it goes.
So what's
I really
your
don't
take
have any
on it,
skin
Wayne?
in the game. Yeah, I don't have any skin in the game. I don't hunt over bait, so it just depends on how it works. I think this has become more of a private properties issue.
Absolutely.
So, and I think with that, I think they would have more support if they do some restrictions on it, some regulatory issues that they have to put into this bill. If it's like this, it's kind of a Wild West piece. No baiting is allowed, or Game and Fish Department can't do anything. So I think that's kind of the Wild West piece. They got to have some sort of restrictions and such. Set something up a little bit.
Let me throw this at you, okay? There's a lot of my friends have piles of either corn or distiller's grain or something around their feed lots right now that they're feeding and background in their calves. Okay.
Yeah.
Deer get in there.
Right.
I have never heard one of these guys ever say that, oh my God, they're getting bloated up and dying because they're eating all this corn.
Right. Yeah.
I've never heard that. I mean, is that a problem? I don't think it's a problem.
Well, the Game and Fish Department and other Game and Fish Departments have put out some literature and some information about, Montana had an article, Death by Feeding, and they're saying that, their systems just can't handle that great volumes of the.
But wouldn't a wild
corn, for
animal,
example,
as tough as these animals are, sitting in 70 below with the wind chills a couple weeks ago, wouldn't their body tell them, okay, I've had enough?
Yeah, you'd surely think that. I have not seen it, but there has been, like mule deer especially are more susceptible to it because they're more of a browse animal than a whitetail. Whitetails will probably, fare better. The mule deer, they'll have the gut bombs and they'll die with their bellies full, they say, with corn. And because they're browse animals, their system changes during the year so that it can accommodate that twigs and leaves and everything else that they're eating. So that's a big question of is it going to impact the legislation on this or not? I think there's going to be some contentious discussion on this.
Yeah, I think it's going to be I think the farmers and ranchers, anybody that does feeding, anybody that feeds cattle or anything like this, I think you need to be aware of this. I really do, because if we don't get a kind of a handle on this, I mean, they're going to be, what we're going to have to do. We can't have corn piles. We can't have, 150-foot long
Yeah.
bags of corn sitting at the end of fields, for storage or what, I guess. But
Right. Yeah. And, and I don't know how they would label that. Is it hunting, baiting for hunting or not? So, and that's the question. I think everybody that has an opinion on it, contact your legislator and let them know what your thoughts are, and see where this goes. I
absolutely.
think,
well, Wayne,
hopefully it's good for that.
We'll continue this on the YouTube side here, but for now, across the Dakota Territory radio gods, we're out of time here. Wayne Muth, thanks for coming and joining in here. I'm Scott Bachmeyer. Make sure to check out my daily program, DakotaPrairieOutdoors.com, and you can hear that show on each and every one of these great radio stations. Have yourself a great weekend. Happy New Year, and eat some meat, drink some milk. Have a great day. All right, well, I started something with that comment I made there, Wayno.
Yeah.
All right, so I got some text messages coming in. Randy says, I've seen mule deer come to a large pile of rolled feed corn daily. Never seen any problems, but I have a guy here. He says, we had a few deer die from grain overload, but as many has died of that in standing corn in the fall. So how you gonna?
Oh, really?
So how you gonna? I mean, that's what I'm worried about. Is you're gonna get these people, these farmers out here, and they're gonna say, well, okay, the game and fish, you can't bait, you can't do this, you can't do this, you can't do this. Well, if the deer walk out into a cornfield and do it themselves, who's liable?
Yeah,
I'm worried that it's going to be overreach by a state agency that has been appropriated $89 million in the next 2 years.
Oh,
the governor's recommendation is $110 million in the next 2 years.
I was just going to say that.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that's coming up here as well. That's my issue is, there's going to be restrictions on private landowners to the point where what we can put here and there, we already have restrictions by our insurance companies, what we can do with our hay yards. You have to have certain ones. Now they're going to have another agency telling us, hey, you can't do this. You can't do this. You're going to have all of your distiller grain in a grain bin, or your corn can't be out on a pile. Then let's go to grain elevators. All right. Well, in that case, grain elevators, what are they going to do when they have overloads of corn and they have piles of them? Right.
Right. So, exactly. Well, I was out west last on the 30th, and I was out bull hunting and talked to one of the ranchers out there, and I said, yeah, it's not seeing much for deer here or there, and it's just spots. I saw probably about 100 mule deer out there that day, and one of the ranchers said, he goes, yeah, he said, they're down in my silage pile every morning. Yeah. I drove by there, and sure enough, they were out there in the middle of the day. And there were mule deer in the silage pile, and they're probably indulging themselves on that, and they're not dying the way it looks. And so, yeah. But is that baiting, or are they gonna have to put up some high fences?
Exactly.
I don't know.
Yeah. And whose cost is that going to be? And kind of a pain in the butt, you put up a high fence, there's materials available for hay yards, right?
Right. Yeah.
Well, how big? How much material are you going to give me? And not only that, but is the person going to leave the gates open to the hay yard, or go open and close them every time they got to go in and out 17 times a day?
Yeah, that's a pain in the butt, isn't it?
Yeah.
Gosh, that's crazy.
So I don't know. I think let people do what they can, man. I don't know.
Right.
Just like Keith always says, let's just shut up and hunt.
Yeah, shut up and hunt. Yeah, and this appropriations, going to 110 million. I'm just wondering what that other $21,000 worth of monies is going to go.
21 million.
I mean, 21 million. Yeah. Excuse me. Yeah.
Not only that, but they're getting money for the CWD off of that last bill that was passed by the feds. That's getting distributed too, but I don't know what they need that much. Who knows, man?
Yeah, that's interesting. But that is what else was I going to mention to you? Oh, one of the things that I was going to say, with the Mule Deer Foundation, and you've mentioned it too, this Meadowlark initiative that's out there.
Not a fan.
Yeah, it's not bad for some of the areas because there's like five different programs in this.
Mhm.
Some of the grazing mentorship. There's infrastructure systems. There's wetlands, prairie wetlands. I think there's some of them. Anyway, and some of the sponsors of each one are listed below those initiatives.
Mhm.
And the Nature Conservancy was one of them. And I'm going, huh. And I
Nature
think you
Conservancy
had mentioned
and the World Wildlife Fund.
World Wildlife Fund. Can't remember seeing that. Anyway,
Yeah.
So then, we have our local chapter here, our local branch of that Nature Conservancy.
Yep.
So I called up there, and they're up here at the Cross Ranch, north of Mandan,
Mhm.
and talked to the guy, and he said, "Yeah." I said, I said, "So do you guys support hunting and conservation for hunting?" He said, "That's a tough one." He said, "In North Dakota, yes." He said, "We do it in North Dakota. We set it up in North Dakota that we support hunting. All of our programs, all of our lands are open to hunters and birders and bird hunters and whatever." He said, "But if you go outside our state," he said, "you won't find that."
Which means to me, it's like, okay, you're the last of the low hanging fruit. Eventually, it's going to change because their
probably.
national organization is going to tell them to.
Yeah.
I mean, I have a hard time with that when it's sponsored by anti-hunting, anti-agriculture groups for the big part of it too. And they're trying to make, like in Montana's fighting this prairie reserve, or they switched the name now. Was the Buffalo Commons. They switched to the Prairie Reserve. Now I think it's just the reserve or something, but they're buying up all this land and they're putting buffalo back on it or bison back on it. And they're taking it out of agricultural production. And it's a whole bunch of these organizations that have just a ton of money doing it. And
Nature Conservancy does the same thing.
Yeah.
They have two buffalo pastures up north of Mandan here.
Really?
Yeah. And they
bad group, man.
And then he said, "Yeah." I said, "Well, do you allow hunting?" He goes, "Well," he said, of your bison." He goes, "Well, what we do is," and the guy was super nice. He was a really good guy, I thought. And he said, "Well, what happens is when they have any bulls or cows that they need to call out of the herd, they've got some groups that they will talk to, and they'll have somebody come up and harvest one. They don't call it hunting though; they call it just harvesting."
Yeah, they can't call it. Let's say, hold on, Jesse. Jesse, what's on your mind here? He's still watching on YouTube. What's going on?
Good.
Oh, I'm just on my way to Watford City, so I've been listening to the whole show. And I tell you what, when it comes to these deer bloating on feed, it's real simple. They start to go after standing crops, and they start to go after your silage piles in your yards. It's real easy. Game and Fish like to call them their deer. Tell them to keep their deer off your damn land.
But they won't do it.
It's just getting, then just shoot them all and let them lay, because it's a bunch of bull crap.
And I think that's exactly what they want to trap you into doing.
Yeah.
It's going to get it. This new legislative session with a whole lot of new senators and a whole lot of new representatives, it's going to get interesting. They're gonna really find out in a hurry how many issues out there they weren't even aware of. All the things that the legislature has to deal with and try to take care of. And one of the things, like you said, Wayne, is government overreach, regulations without law. And that's what Game and Fish is real good at.
But
it's just doing whatever the hell they want.
Here's my worry about it, Jesse, is there's 41 new seats that are in there right now. 41 new legislators.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Out of those 41, I guarantee people like you and me are not up at the Capitol lobbying like certain other groups are to make them on their side.
Right.
They're getting lobbied immediately. Right. Mm-hmm. So that's the problem that I have. Yeah.
Get their numbers. I've talked to our representatives here, or one of them actually, a friend of mine, and the introducer of the bill, debating bill. And we had some great discussion. These guys are they're a couple of the older ones there, but I tell you what, they can really be influential, and we can too, by calling them and letting them know what we're talking about and what we think and what we're seeing. I think that's some of the things that is lost out there. Is Game and Fish Department they've got a staff that can't be everywhere, but what we see as hunters and ranchers and farmers out there on the landscape, I think can really bring a lot of info to these guys that they may not see. So Yeah, give the calls, man. They gotta contact them.
Well, not only that, but it's more important now because we only have these legislators for 4 terms or 4 sessions, I should say. Okay, that's
right.
it. Then it's going to be all new again.
Yeah.
So
I still think we're going to see something changed on that. They're going to realize they screwed up with that deal. It's going to take some time, but that's going to go away.
Yeah. But $110 million, I think, is outrageous.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Where's it going?
Thanks for the good show, guys.
Sure.
All right, thanks for the call, man.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. You bet.
You know what Jesse said too about owning the animals. If the Game and Fish Department goes along with what is it called, the North American model of conservation, a model of wildlife conservation, there's a part of that is the public trust doctrine that says the animals are not owned by anybody.
Yep.
Not by individuals, not by farmers, ranchers, or the government. They are managed by the government to be on the landscape forever.
Yeah.
So that's how that conservation, group or that conservation model is, and that's what all the Game and Fish departments go by, I believe.
The mayor of Mobridge says that the Nature Conservancy pasture has what they have one by Leola, South Dakota, as well.
Really?
How are we allowing allowing them to do this in an agricultural minded state?
Yeah, I don't know. They've got money, so they're purchasing. When they purchase, and it's an American company, it's not like a Chinese company trying to buy land up by Grand Forks that red flags it. So these are American companies buying from American ranchers, I suppose, and then they do what they want with them. And the anti-hunting groups, like they can be, that's scary.
Yeah,
that's scary.
Well, an anti-ag is what's even more scary because the agriculture side is the number one production in both North and South Dakota. That's the number one business.
Yeah.
So I don't know, man.
Good.
Well, if you get bored, come over to Belfield tonight.
That would be fun. I should see if we could make it out there. That would really be fun. Yeah, run out there.
Oh.
See a few of the people. I don't know. Yeah.
Have you auction an item off?
Yeah. Wouldn't get much for it probably then.
You never know.
All right.
I suppose I better go feed some cows, man.
Yeah, you have a good one, and we'll be in touch.
All right. Thanks, Wayne. See ya.
Thanks. You bet.
Bye.
Yeah, bye-bye.
YouTube, have yourself a great day. Happy New Year to all of you too as well.